wiring today while got about everything wired up. Pull it down and that's all you'll see. And push it back up and flip your lever back around, but got that little bit right there that you can see. So I've been spending the day doing wiring, and Mark been doing exhaust. Some crazy exhaust. Let's look at the exhaust work.
Yeah, it's been exhausting.
It's an exhausting job.
It is. Well, yeah, we had we were gonna try to do an X-pipe sitting in this area right here, but it was just in too close proximity to that drive shaft. It wasn't going to work out. So we ended up standing it up right there. Why not? The bed's not functional, so it's just a big old space. So we decided to do that way instead. Got a couple offsets here trying to get the camera so we can see stuff. But yeah, we got a couple little offsets in it to run it out to the side. It's out of the way. It's not all fully welded yet. It's still to where you can move it around and tweak it and stuff like that. But
Get up, gotta get up.
gotta get up. But yeah, we got it. Let's see. Got it where you can we can run it out. It's got the little X in it, so we're trying to get some of that poppy loud noise out of it, so it'll be mellow. It won't have to have as much exhaust, really. You won't have to have as much muffler, because it seems like it smooths it out. It doesn't have all that, you know, because probably going to end up running some like a glass pack type straight through muffler. And you know how those sound when it's running out on each side. So most of the stock car style stuff, it's all branched over and run on one side, but it makes it a little bit harder to put X-pipe and you having a pipe on it each side coming out like the older ones did. But I just want to have that sound. I reckon that more modern sound. But yeah, I'm gonna turn these pipes here and just run them straight out the. Right now, the plan is to run them straight out the fender, and I'm gonna cut a 3.5 or a 4-inch hole saw hole there, run them down, and it ought to be different. It ought to sound different. Can't really see what we got going on, but yeah, got a little tweaking to do. I got a little trimming here to make them all look, you know, symmetrical as possible, I reckon. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Different little sound and exhaust style. So, and it'll be just tucked up in out of the way, and no problem. Just nice noises. So, what else you got going? You got a couple wires tucked up under the hood, didn't you?
Yeah, got the wires for the alternator. They ran out just there, and then the wires for the distributor. But
yeah, he was having fun. He put everything in shrink wrap, where he's got it tucked under the intake and everything. So everything that he brought out is full shrink wrap. He went and bought what 8-foot pieces of it, and so yeah, it's going to be all decent looking wiring once you get done with it.
because right back here,
There's going to be minimal wires.
once I cut the
Oh, there went the
cut the
brakes.
zip ties, I mean, you won't see but that little bit right there.
Yeah, you're gonna have that hid, and I think the rest of the wiring for the headlights and stuff like that, turn signals, it's gonna come out of that little black bushing there. Then eventually this side, you got to mount the brake or the clutch cylinder, the master cylinder, and got to mount the clutch master cylinder on the firewall. Still got to do that and make the rods for the brake pedal and the clutch. But that ain't gonna be that bad. Ain't gonna be that bad of a job. Last time we done it on the truck out back, it got that done in about a half a day, so it won't be too bad. So we didn't get much action, but not much action video at all. But
we got the before and after today.
we just got here and went right at it. But
yeah, his piles of pipe is getting smaller.
I had a bunch of curves, but now I've only got, we had 4 U-bends and a couple straight sections, and we had to run up to Charlotte and grab a 10-foot stick last week. And yeah, but we're well on our way to having an exhaust on it. Got to figure it out now where it's not in the way, so that's, yeah, it's not a common way to run the exhaust, but it ought to have a raspy little sound to it, hopefully. And just keep on fabricating away. I reckon I'll hit a little bit more tomorrow if my honeydew list don't get too tall.
All right, and I'm stuck on the wiring waiting on the mail to deliver the main feed wire to feed everything up under the dash, but it's on order.
Then your other toy you got coming.
And yeah, did order a vinyl machine, so we're gonna try to let it put the vinyl on ourselves. Just
a bunch of big old Miller High Light logo on the hood, and the graphics there, and whatever graphics we decide to put on it. Try to recreate all the stickers and everything for it. So most of the stuff's on the internet. You know, we'll be able to get the general, you know, print of it and the font and everything. So it'll look close enough for this whole thing.
And that way we can do it how we try to match the other, but we can do it the size and the spacing we want.
It would have been sort of similar. I'm sure they used graphics back then in the 80s too, so it wasn't like today's printed graphics. Everything back then was probably, it was in between, you know, going from, you know, hand painted stuff to when they were starting to use graphics. So, you know, they just stack if you had a white border or something like that, they would just have another layer of white or black trim or whatever. It would just be vinyl stacked on top of each other like the old school way. So that's pretty much how it's going to be, is the old school way. So you already made that one little test sticker on the dash over there.
Yeah, just messing around.
He just made it with his little Cricut machine, so now he's getting a big router. And now we just got to find the right color red. It's, you know, the regular, like tomato red vinyl, it's pretty bright. We're going for something almost burgundy, but not burgundy. It's just a really dark red. And trying to find it in a matte color, but all we found so far was like it wasn't a matte, it was just a dark red, but it wasn't in a matte, it was sort of a gloss, but that'll be fine too. It'll work. As long as the color's right. It don't matter if it's gloss.
But once we get the machine, if we don't like it, we can make another one. That's the thing about getting the machine. You don't like it, peel it off and start over.
Just don't peel the paint off when you put the stickers off.
All right. It's about time to eat. We ain't said that in a while.
Yeah, I am getting a little...
So, yeah, we are working.
I'm hungry.
And maybe we get back to doing more videos of before we start and after we start each day, and then that way keep up with what we're doing each day. All right, later for right now.
Peace.
All right, I've been working on wiring today, and he's been working on exhaust or stacks or something.
There's a little tight coming out from under the truck, so this side here was touching the frame a little bit. I think it'll make it a lot easier to go back in with this trimmed off. You hold this edge for me? She's a little top heavy. Push back in this on. Up on it.
Not crazy as all.
Well, if you want to export and you want clearance, that's what you do. She's not going to be in the way of anything. So, yeah. Perfect. Let's see if it fits now. Now that it's welded up.
All right, we're making some final preparation to fire this 318 cubic inches of power up, and we want to listen to that tuned exhaust.
Yeah, and gotta put the cam saver juice in there.
It's full of zinc. Yeah.
It's an old cam. It's an old Mudfall Performance cam we got from a buddy of ours. Got a little junkyard nearby. A little what do you call them? A little money pit, little sweet spot, whatever you call them. Nice little junkyards you don't want to tell nobody about. But yeah, he had a bunch of cams hanging in socks, just on the side of his shelf. I'm like, what's in them socks? Well, it's just old cams. So we found them. A couple of them, it was old purple shaft cams. We was like, hey, we like them things.
So it's like socks and marking, but without the marking. Just socks.
Just,
socks cam.
Yeah. But yeah, we're doing some mathematicals on it, and we think it's the old 508, what they call the straight drive cams. But we may be wrong in our calculations, and it could be a 284/44, which is just fine with us too.
But
We've had both.
But yeah, we're gonna prime it up, take the oiling shaft out and prime everything up. But let's walk back here and look at the exhaust. That's what we're waiting to hear. Let's see what that sounds like. It's either gonna sound good or sound like two screaming Hondas.
Yeah.
Side by side.
Yeah.
But all right, let us get some prep work done, get ready to fire it up, and we'll be back with you in a little bit. All right, we're gonna do the first. We testing everything: the wiring, the exhaust, the motor. Yeah, we're gonna see if it'll fire up.
Splashed a little bit of True Fuel in there. Maybe we can get this old fuel pump to prime up and get some of that extra flame maker off of there, because it's probably gonna pop and stuff because the distributor is not set right. So,
All right, let's see what happens.
pick up in the last little bit.
Yeah, it's getting gas now.
Oh, okay, sweet. It's older gas. Did it sound like it's a little low timing? We're gonna have to struggle a little bit. Man, that True Fuel smells good.
All right.
Top end.
Oh, wait a minute. We got a gas leak.
Got a leak.
Already.
We killed the fire. Dripping from that.
All right, let us address a fuel leak situation.
Tighten things.
All right, we got a fuel leak situation under control, we think.
I got a little shot of nitrous in there.
All right, you want to work the gas and I'll
I'll
do
try
the...
to work the gas. Catch my hair on fire.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right, go for it. Okay. Roll. Try out that direction. I can roll it toward the firewall. Let me. It's cranking up pretty easy. It's turning over easy and not so.
Don't sound like a dying dolphin.
Not yet. It ain't gonna sound like that with this starter anyway. All right, just a little bit more. Now it's sounding weird. All right. I don't know, bro. Let me pull back some. I don't know if we're just way too far one way or the other. All right. Spraying gas. Spraying at the fitting up here, right on the flamethrower. Probably not a good thing. Needs a little snug on it.
Is it coming out the fitting or the...
It was just spraying straight up here and going on there, so I think it could be the fitting to the carburetor, or I couldn't really tell. I just seen just a. I mean, it's coming from behind. It was just spraying straight over here. I seen it coming from somewhere right here that's fitting. I'll turn it over again, as you see, so you got the tools to tighten it there. It may only do it when it's running with the full pressure, you know. See it?
Yep. See where it's leaking.
Here's a little bit of lifter tick there. Cause yeah, that big wrench is a little difficult to get on there. Yeah, they're short 1 inch.
I do in the carburetor box. But...
Yeah, but the carburetor box is at the carburetor shop. Pretty sure I don't have no shorty.
Let's see.
I've got little channel locks.
What about the crescent wrench?
Yeah, it ain't gonna go to 1, I don't think. It may. I mean, it's maybe 1 inch. Probably 15 16.
Still got a little bit of fuel issue.
Hey, it's less than it was. Hey, it did hit 1 inch. Sweet, just don't have to use the pliers.
Get the tighten the other thing back up.
So I rolled it on the way forward and it fired up. So let me bump it back just a little bit because I didn't want to stay idling. I think we got any extra vacuum leaks going on. I'm gonna wear some of the intake sealing. We run it before on a Magnum motor. This is the first time we ever had this knock off intake on the LA motor.
We got the fuel leak situation dialed in.
The timing remotely close.
All right, you ready? We try it again?
Yeah. Gotta keep it running. It does not like rolling backwards. The more I go forward, now I'm touching the coil. It likes it better way up there. So, yeah, the coil's hitting now. I can't get any more forward.
Let's see.
If I can adjust the coil, move it around, maybe rotate it back some. So a ½ inch.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Is there a 3/8 ratchet out? There's 3 of them out somewhere.
All right, now you can move it.
Move it. Okay. All right, now I rolled it back forward to where it was a few seconds ago. Now this side's leaking the same way that one was. Well, you don't want to wring these things off and kill the threads. You just
Yeah,
a little at a time. Just get it tight enough to you can still see it. I guess that was a little easier to get to it. I got the firewall in the way. It's not overly loud though, is it?
no.
I figured it sounds muffled. So yeah, that little X-Pac thing is taking a lot of the raspy or the pop when you always run them out on each side, you know. 4 cylinders.
But it's got small jets in this thing. We might need more power. We're getting up here now.
I was wondering about that little clicking noise, but it ain't the lifters, it's the little cheap gaskets. It's got a little ticking in the back of this. Probably need to tighten the header gaskets up a little bit. But you're still driving it.
Yeah.
Tighten up those aggravating bolts a little bit.
Well, we gotta snug up some header bolts, but we'll be back. We did get that dropped carburetor figured out. We fattened it up a little bit more and got it where it was running good. So you seen that we did get it running. Sound pretty good. So now we got to do what all the brake.
Yeah, we got to finish all the plumbing for the brakes. Now we got to do the last time when we done it on the old truck out back, that 67 truck. It didn't take but a half a day to put the master cylinder in the firewall. I found a spot to mount it in line with the pedals, and just made a longer rod for it that was sort of semi-adjustable, and made a little fork piece to where you can just drill a hole in the pedal and put it where you want it to get the right ratio, so it fully depresses the hydraulic cylinder, and then the rest of it just, you know, bolts in. So it didn't take no time on that truck, so I don't see this one taking that much more time either. So get it made up and probably make a little plate similar to that for it, reinforces it a little bit. And brakes, and we have to probably fixing to jack it up, take the front end back apart, and we're going to change the angle on the shock mount for the lower control arm, because it's, when you turn it all the way, it's bumping the tire, the shock is. So we get that straightened out, and I'll move the lower shock mount over some and get that where it works good. Then we can just tighten everything up and get ready to align everything once we get all the weight on the truck, all the body on it. Get all that stuff ready, then clean up all the roll bars that still got rusty from where we've been touching them for months. Take the stuff apart and prime it and paint it, everything, and then go back to just probably get it primed and then do the body work. Get the fenders all finished up. And got the cool
battery box.
Took his old fuel cell that split on him during the power tour. One of those old China fuel cells, and the buddy that come over and done some welding on this thing for me, he took it home and hacked it up and made me a box out of aluminum, and we just made those little brackets right there and welded those on, so the battery's good to go. I just gonna have to make a little closure. We got it where it's pretty much a flush fit with the top of this, so I'll just make a little bracket that bolts on, rivets on, or something with a little strip going across to keep the pressure on that. We don't need the charger no more because we're not running the truck anymore. But got to finish plumbing the fuel line. Got most of it tied on the chassis rail. Got a little bit coiled up the aluminum fuel line. And yeah, we get all the mechanicals done. We need to drop under there and get a measurement for the drive shaft, and take my parts and pieces to the guy in Monroe, North Carolina. He's gonna make me a new drive shaft, and then get all that mounted. So by then we'll have a running driving vehicle. Then I'll be able to knock this body work out pretty quick, because it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna look like a race truck. It's not gonna look like it's a restored, you know, come from Petty Garage or something. I mean, I'm gonna beat on it and have fun with it. Take it down a dirt road. I don't care. It's just gonna be a, you know, pretty much a truck version of a General Lee, which I've had one of those before. So yep, it's gonna be a fun ride. So we're just gonna smooth it out as good as we can without spending excessive amounts of time. We got 2 gallons of Rust-Oleum white paint, and we're gonna put the hardener in it, and that's what we painted the old NASCAR car we had before with, and it worked out pretty good. It looked good for what it was. So we're gonna paint it up with that, and Harold's got the router, and he's been figuring that out for the last, what, 3 weeks to a month, figuring out how to work the software in it. And we've got all our vinyl graphics that's, you know, specific to this truck, like on our, let's see, yeah, on this little thing here, we got that All Pro sticker figured out. We got the correct Miller, which has a different little banner underneath it in the older days, and talked to the Kenny Coon, I think the son of Kenny Coon, and he's like, yeah, you can use those graphics on there if you want to. He said no problem with there, and we'll try to make it look as close to that as possible. So
yeah, so yeah, so we did get it running. We're getting closer. Just taking some time. So,
and this motor hopefully will be healthy enough to beat on it a little bit. It'd be nice if it lasts all summer. And then
while building the
that'll give
360,
us plenty of time next winter to finish up the Magnum motor for it. But I mean, yeah, it runs good. It ran good before when it was in this old truck out here. I just replaced it because I had a fresher one on the stand. So yeah,
all right. So
clean up the shop and start working on other parts. Get this thing going.
We're moving ahead. It's about time to eat. See y'all. Well, about to fall over here. Gotta start that one over.